Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have an updates to the Clayton Echard v. Jane Doe paternity or non-paternity scandal rocking Bachelor Nation and beyond. All of LawTube's covering it. Umbrella Guys bringing all of our attention to it. Megan Fox has been pivotal. Happy birthday, Megan Fox. She's 37 years young today, plus a couple years, but who's counting? And boy, do we have odd timing regarding some of the pieces of the puzzle that are coming together. I sometimes wonder, are we going to have a video today? Maybe not. There's really nothing new going on. And then we have this moment where we go, great Scott, are you kidding me? And we've kind of pieced a few things together. An email that was sent to the bar of Arizona, the Arizona bar, trying to get Woodnick Law and her own former attorney, Lexi Linval, bar complaints. The day that was rejected by the Arizona bar, I'm going to share those emails with you. 5 hours and 29 minutes after that, Woodnick Law gets an email from Jane Doe with an attachment that is what some believe to be an extortion level email saying, I'm going to sue you for $1.4 million based on the things you did wrong in this real estate development. But the only stipulation where I won't sue you is if you drop this case against me. It is getting very vitriolic, to say the least, when it comes to the actions being taken here. It reminds me of my beautiful Basset Hound. I have a 15-year-old Basset Hound. Kind of inherited him in the relationship I'm now in with my wife. It was her baby boy, her little dog. And he's the cutest dog in the world. He's a cute little puppy. He's so cute. But I remember the first time I was babysitting him, dog sitting him, and I didn't really know all the rules of dogs. I was trying to get him to go outside, but I had backed him into a corner, and his animalistic instincts came out, and he showed me his teeth, and he's like, it was really cute because he's so adorable. I was like, oh, come on. But he was trying to snap at me. He was trying, and it was because he was in a corner, and he was in defensive mode, and he had no other way out. And even though I was a friend and an ally in that moment, it was me versus the world. Well, not to relate Jane Doe to my Basset Hound, because he's far more cuddly, in my opinion. He's a little cute dog. But she may be backed into the corner here and is trying to pull any maneuver she can to get out of that. One in which being threatening to sue for $1.4 million, threatening all these other defamation lawsuits. I'm going to sink you like Alex Jones, $1 million, all these other things, right? Well, I've got two aspects to this video that I think are going to blow your mind. Showing you the emails which show this 5 hour and 29 minute gap between this avenue not working and I'm going to try this avenue. It's almost like, if this works, go that way. If this doesn't work, go that way. You can clearly see the blueprints of what she's got going on. But also, just randomly, now that we know she claims to have had a miscarriage on July 23rd, now we're seeing something far crazier, and it might be the lead of this story as new things emerge, that being the baby bump that she had, the one she had in court, also was a video she sent to me, Reality Steve, and Clayton, which was her dad rubbing her baby belly. Looks like a real baby belly. Doesn't look like it's her. Of course, now we know it's actually her sister. That's the belief, is that it's her sister. And I think that's very obvious and easy to tell when you look at the photos of the video. But the interesting part of that was taken and sent, at least sent to me in October. Now you might say, well, that was actually from a month earlier. That would even be crazier because the math doesn't add up on the size of the bump. So I'm going to share both of those stories for you guys, including how some of my investigators believe there's a lot of fraud happening with regards to the video that was sent to me. I'll save that for the end. I'm going to show you a copy of the video that was sent to me from her. And as far as we know right now, she has yet to claim that this was hacked by Greg Gillespie. She still owns up to this video. Now, it says, Dad feeling my belly. This title would make sense if it was sent from her sister, because her sister had a baby last year. But no, this was sent from her. She alleges that this was her belly that her dad was feeling. And again, if I were her sister, I'd be very upset. Get my name out of your court case here. Either way, we're going to cover that in a second. So here are the two different emails. One on top, February 27th, 1:19 p.m. The one below it, February 27th, 6:39 p.m. 5 hours and 29 minutes later. Did I do the math right? You're going to see what those two emails are coming up right now. The first was an email from Jane Doe to Reed Potter. Complaint against Greg Woodnick. Now, we've already shared all of this. This was the previous day. Go back a day. February 26, 3:07 p.m. Just getting ready for my afternoon walk. Let me fire off a complaint to the Arizona bar, right? That's how I type. I just type like this. You don't want to get carpal tunnel. Misrepresenting and offensive language by Greg Woodnick. Inappropriate direct communication by Greg Woodnick. Mr. Woodnick emailed to my sister, sent to both her personal and business accounts, bypasses standard legal protocol. So she's upset that Jane Doe's upset that Greg Woodnick asked her sister for information, as her sister has been named in this. Her sister, whether she wants to be a part of this or not, may be complicit or may be naive to some of the actions alleged here. So this whole email was sent to the bar, and then, it's kind of like her complaint, I think trying to get some violations on paper here, which was supposed to be days before she was supposed to be deposed, which you have to imagine, while her biggest goal must be to get the case dismissed, her other goal is to obviously not have to go to a deposition. That would not be good. Of course, we find out at that deposition she admits to fraudulently doctoring medical documents. So we made this video. Extortion claims, ? This video because I said 1.4 million. I rounded up. 1.368936 million and 80 cents. Hey, inflation's running crazy out there. Get every penny you can, sister, right? Well, Woodnick has exposed her for overt and nonsensical extortion. That's their words, okay? Because, when you look at what extortion is, let me see if I've got the, hold on. Extortion, the practice of obtaining something, especially money, through force or threats. She's not trying to obtain money. She's trying to obtain a favorable scenario, which is the dismissal of this case. And she's saying, I will actually not take your money in exchange. It's almost like a reverse extortion. She's saying, I will not drain you of 1.4 million if you drop this case. That's akin to saying, I will give you 1.4 million if you do this. It's kind of like, it's a do this for me and the other financial thing won't happen type of deal. So either way, she's made these accusations against Woodnick, right? And then we made that video, and I'm going to link it all together. So in the video, I shared the time of these emails, which was from Jane Doe to Greg Woodnick. She sends him an email at 6:39 p.m. saying, Greg, I'm contacting you directly rather than through Corey, her attorney at the time, as this is related to a civil matter. I would appreciate it if you would share the attached with Clayton. Now, why wouldn't she just send this to Clayton? Because he has an injunction against harassment on her. She can't just send it to Clayton, okay? And why is she emailing him at 6:39 p.m.? Well, like I shared before, this is days after this correspondence happened here, which was the information, I'm trying to find it here. I got it on the next couple slides here. The information that came to Woodnick that he had a claim against him. Sorry, I'm having a brain meltdown, but I want you guys to understand. So at 1:39 of that same day, 1:19 of that same day, and again, this is all in the court records, Reed Potter from the Arizona bar emails Jane Doe. Good afternoon, Miss Doe. I was in the process of leaving you a voicemail, but believe it was cut off. I reviewed your detailed submissions. As previously stated, you are currently involved in ongoing litigation. The basis for your allegations are mostly from the pleadings themselves, which is why I am suggesting speaking to your current counsel, Mr. Keith. The issues at this stage are more appropriately raised with the court. The court is the most familiar with the facts, rules, statutes, and case law for your case. It is inappropriate for the state bar to get involved in active cases, except under certain circumstances not applicable here. If the court concludes that Mr. Woodnick acted inappropriately, please provide us with a copy of that written finding for further consideration. Until then, we consider this matter dismissed and will take no further action. Pursuant to Arizona Supreme Court Rule 71, the state bar file may be expunged in 3 years. So February 27th, 1:19 p.m. is when Jane Doe finds out that they will not help her with her bar complaints. She finds out that no, the judge has to rule in your current case if there's an issue. The judge has not ruled that, so no current issue, right? So then that takes us to 6:39 p.m., 5 hours and 20 minutes later is when, so that, I don't know. She could have already planned to email Greg Woodnick. Or it could have been, well, I'll try the bar complaint thing, and then I'm upset that didn't work, and I'm just going to go straight up the ladder. If that were the case, if she went from trying to do this legally through the Arizona bar, finding out that didn't happen, and then sends this letter to Greg Woodnick, really because she wanted to send it to Clayton, but she couldn't, I think that's pretty crazy. That it was on the same day. She's like, you know what? Fine. I'm going straight for it. I didn't want to have to pull this card. She gets out her little hammer and she hits the glass. Comprehensive legal notice of intent to sue for breaches of contractual and fiduciary duties. Dear dear Mr. Eckert, I write to you with a matter of utmost legal gravity and urgency. Again, this is Jane Doe emailing a guy who he alleges she blew twice. That was the extent of their relationship. But now she's calling him Dear Mr. Eckert. What in the chat GPT is going on here? I write to you with a matter of utmost legal gravity and urgency. Pursuant to the breaches of contractual obligations, fiduciary duties, negligence, fraudulent misrepresentation, and professional misconduct as verified by the Arizona Department of Real Estate, your failure to fulfill your professional obligations, specifically in relation to the properties at X, Y, and Z, Scottsdale, has necessitated this action. Specification of damages. The total compensatory damages sought, $1,368,936.80, is meticulously calculated based on the current market value of the aforementioned properties. Again, I don't believe she was planning to pay cash for all these properties. So it's not like, it's a whole different, you can't even argue this. It's crazy. This valuation is derived from reputable real estate valuation services, including Redfin, to ensure accuracy and fairness and compensation for the loss of opportunity and financial detriment caused by your actions. Additionally, $124,000 is sought for emotional distress, quantifying a consideration of the psychological impact and distress directly attributable to your professional negligence in the subsequent ADRE findings. So her argument is because he ceased communicating with her and she missed out on buying these homes, assuming she would have been able to, assuming her funding would have come through, assuming all these other things, she says, you owe me $1.4 million. Big guy. But wait, there's more. Stipulations conditional for resolution. We love a good stipulation. In lieu of immediate litigation, I propose an alternative resolution contingent upon your stipulation to dismiss Family Court 2023-052114. Janie Doe v. Eckert. Forthwith and to mutually agree to forbear from any future legal actions against each other for any claims. Boy, you know what turns me on? Legal talk like this. Oh, get me going with that forbear nonsense. This proposition is tendered in a spirit of amicable dispute resolution and to mitigate further legal entanglements. Requirement for immediate compliance. Your response to this legal notice is mandated by no later than February 29th, 2024 by the close of business. Absent a satisfactory response, I am fully prepared to initiate legal proceedings to seek redress and restitution for the aforementioned breaches. Sincerely, Jane Doe III. Now, February 29th, what is it? April, February, March. It's been almost a couple months now, and I've yet to see her actually making a lawsuit. I'm not trying to goat her into a $1.4 million lawsuit in 80 cents. I'm not trying to say she should do that. I'm just saying it's almost as if she doesn't follow through with this, it almost makes the extortion look worse, right? If she doesn't follow through with a lawsuit, then that means it was just a veiled threat with no actual real intention of following through. Now, you might say, well, she's not suing him now. She's going to wait until after this to sue. Maybe, I guess. But either way, this led Woodnick to say, are you kidding me right now with this? Now, he doesn't necessarily know, or at least the pieces haven't been put together because we didn't see this until last week, that this came 5 hours, 20 minutes after she tried to file a bar complaint. So very kind to Mr. Woodnick here, as we find out that she's like, I just came for your throat. I got denied. So now I'm going to try to sue your client. How do you feel about that? And I mean, I guess the only way to say it wouldn't be extortion is if it was ruled that she had a right to sue. As far as, did Clayton have a duty as her real estate agent to connect her to these dealings? Now, he argues, and I believe the ADRE did not place any sort of sanctions on him. I believe this was dismissed. But he argues that he followed the proper proceedings to shift her on to somebody else within his agency. You know, he had to be like, hey, I hooked up with a client and now she's threatening all these things. Can you just take this case for me? And they're like, oh, come on, you don't want the commissions? And he's like, I'll pass on the commissions. Thanks. I think I'm good. I think I've got enough commissions coming my way here. So either way, that's her idea to mitigate further legal entanglements. This obviously didn't work because Woodnick brought this into the exhibits. He shared this saying, are you kidding me right now? Do you see what she's doing? With a 2-hour court case. I mean, this isn't even stuff that I believe her new lawyer knows about. This is just more stuff. So when the new lawyer says, well, I would drop her if I found out she lied, it's like we're beyond that area of grace where we believed he was going to stay to his word. He doesn't believe she lied because he believed she still thought she was pregnant, even though now she claims on July 23rd she no longer, she miscarried. So again, those are the dates right there. 6:39 p.m. is when she sent a legal notice. Please forward to my former lover. And we thought, well, maybe that's extortion. Now, the next instance of stuff I want to cover with you is this email I received on Friday, October 13th. Now, this email, again, this is sort of a side story to what we just saw here, but with the new information that she miscarried on July 23rd or 3rd, whatever the hell the day was, right? With that new information, as the goalposts have moved, we've had to relook at certain things, including this email from Friday, October 13th. Hi, Steve and Dave. I chose not to continue to listen to Steve's podcast after being called a flipping moron and didn't watch Dave's video at all. My family, who 100% support me, have been harassed by strangers and have urged me to simply let the truth reveal itself by completing the paternity testing process. Of course, that process revealed no DNA, little to no DNA, and eventually by having the twins. I included, so she's still talking about having the twins, October 13th. I included my neurologist notes in a prior email because my doctor saw me and could tell that I was pregnant. And as you can tell from the videos, I am very definitely pregnant and my dad is extremely ill. Now, she's very definitely pregnant. So she says, I have better things to do with my time than try to prove myself to you guys who are going to defame me regardless of what I say or do. I think she's really misusing the word defame. I mean, hold you accountable for lies that we believe you're telling is not defamation. I don't want money or a relationship with Clayton. I just want full custody, which I will get. You can have it, baby. I would have no reason to continue to subject myself to cyberbullying and harassment if I were not still pregnant. There would be no point to it. So she's arguing the wrong point. The point is you're subjecting yourself to the internet not believing you. That's what you're subjecting yourself to. Clayton has been invited to my blood draw in sonogram next week, where he would be able to see how pregnant I am for himself, but he has chosen not to. I'd hope that in the meantime, you would find other things to talk about than me when I will prove all of you wrong. Now we can walk and chew gum. We have, like I said, we covered Charity's breast implants. We're covering all the Bachelor stories. Victoria unfollowed Greg Grillo. We're covering it all, folks. We can do all these things, all right? So either way, what's so important about this email is the attachment she sent right here. So she sends an attachment dated October 13th, the good Lord's year of 2023. My dad feeling my belly. 1, dad feeling my belly. 2. 2 videos. They're essentially the same thing. As I've said previously, she was under the impression, when you look at this, when you look on mobile at these attachments, it only shows neck down. So it actually looks like this. It looks like that in mobile video. So, you know, we knew it wasn't her, but we were like, okay, kind of weird, whatever. But then on the desktop version, it shows this, which is absolutely insane. Because I know we've been doing a good job of blurring her out and we're going to continue to protect the sort of anonymity here of her sister. That ain't her, folks. That ain't her. That ain't her belly. It's her father, but that ain't her. Her sister had a baby last year. So she's telling us on October 13th, 2023, that is her belly. And then now she's telling us on dates like today, April 15th or the last couple of weeks, that she miscarried June, July, August, September. So this is her belly 3 months after she miscarries. And she didn't know. And the thing kept growing. I know, I've had Taco Bell too. We all get bloated. But my point is, the more we look back at the moved goalpost, the more we go, are we supposed to, like, we already didn't believe her, right? But now, like, all of this type of evidence that's like it's not even a smoking gun like some of the other, I mean, it is really, it's a smoking gun, but not like a, she's admitted to doctoring ultrasounds. Like, those things are like insane. And her lawyer's still saying, yeah, I know it's a bad look, she did that, but it doesn't mean she wasn't pregnant. Well, then what does this mean? Then what are we looking at here? Do you know how special this moment must have been for her sister, if this is her sister, to have her father, who's getting treatment in the hospital and feeling ill, to rub her baby's belly, assuming this is her father's first grandson or granddaughter, I don't know the gender. But do you know how special that moment must have been? And publicly, I plead for people that know the sister. Can't we get some sort of signed affidavit that says, hey, that's me, that's not Jane Doe, she's lying? Where are they? I understand the parents might be worth a lot of money, and maybe there's inheritances and things like that. Blood's stronger than, I understand all of that. But what about the people that are getting threatened with lawsuits? What about the people with emotional, having their mental health wrecked because of lies being told about them and their families and all those other things? The multiple men in this situation. Where's the plea for them? Where's the plea to do the right thing? So it brings us back to this comment I got from somebody who's one of my investigators. Yes, we got a lot of investigators, and they're doing a lot of work at looking at the metadata. They said the interesting thing is that the file was generated. This file was generated. This is in reference to this file. And again, we've had so much going on that this is just some more information that we haven't really had a chance to sift through. So this file right here, the metadata was looked at. This tells me someone took a video and used it to render a new video. Could be editing, cropping, audio removal, etc. Definitely not someone taking a phone video and just forwarding it to you from a later date. If I wanted to look at my wife, my pregnancy or whatever, I could just flip through and find some random video I wanted to share with you, and it would be the original version of that video, and I could say, all right, there you go. Like, which of the ultrasounds do I want to share? You know what I mean? We have so many. I could just pick apart a video and show it to you just like that at any time I wanted to, and have all of the metadata available for that video. If we look at the metadata, it'll show you, the aspect ratio, all of the information. It's all in there, right? So here's the metadata. Apple iPhone 12 Pro Max, 1080p, 19 by 20, 29.98 FPS, the location it was taken. I mean, all of this stuff I can show you. All of that stuff right there I can show you, down to the street corner that we were at. None of that's available in this video. None of that's available. And you might say, well, she wanted to remove the audio or whatever. It's like, okay, there's always an excuse why the metadata is stripped. So when it comes down to finding the images of the fetal sacs or whatever, not the copies of it, not what was run through Adobe Acrobat or your, Canva or whatever, the actual evidence is not evidence if it ain't the original, tracked back to a date and time. And so far, with all the, compelling to provide it, crickets, nothing. And those are your updates. Not everything has to have a pretty ending. In this case, certainly won't. But either way, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. I'm going to be live as soon as you watch this to discuss this more. It's just getting crazier and crazier. I'll be live at 12:30 Central Standard Time, and you can come check us out on patreon.com/Dave Neal. We'll be back right after this.